Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, as the title suggests, Hayley has been playing Bill like a fool on Beyond the Gates. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if you let me know in the comment section, is YouTube even working? I may have to sit there and reschedule this for tomorrow because YouTube has been down for a hot minute. So I can't even what is going on with YouTube? Has been down for a hot minute. So I can't even let me know in the comment section if you can actually hear me. It's like you have to keep replaying stuff for it to work. And it's been like that for a hot minute. It's not it's at first I thought it was just my cable or whatever, but it's not. It just seems that YouTube has just been well, let me see. What is going on? Okay. This is not even me. This is literally just YouTube just what the let me know if y'all can actually yeah, I know. Lorby, I'm YouTube is okay. I may have to shut this off and try this again. Um, YouTube has been just having some issues. What the? No video on YouTube is working. Let me know if y'all can hear me because I can't even. Ugh. Okay. So some videos are working. What's good, Susan? What's good, Laura B? Allison, uh, Amy. Let me see what's going on. Amy, let me see what's going on. Now, Cat Lady's there, but Cat Lady says she can't see anything. Shauna's there. Cat Lady says she can't see anything. Shauna's there. Cat Lady says she can't see anything. Shauna's there. Cat Lady says she can't see anything. Shauna's there. Shauna's there. Spike Quick, let me know if you can actually hear me first, because I can see your comments, but I can't. Yeah, YouTube is acting up. That's my whole thing. YouTube, I can just see the chat. So Spider can hear me. Yeah, Susan. Yeah, just you just keep refreshing. Exactly, Susan. I thought it was mine too, but I got like three devices. Yeah, it was acting up at first. All right. Truth Seeker. Yeah, just restart it. YouTube had for the last the last few minutes, YouTube has just been acting the hell up. Which is really annoying. I think it's working now. I think it's working now. Oh, okay, there we go, Domax. All right, so Oh, that was annoying. All right, I think everyone can probably see me at this point. All right, now you know how I do. It's one of me, 17 people in this chat. So I'm not going to get to every single person. I will sit there and answer your question in a second, Spider. And trust me, I felt the exact same way. All right, I think we're good, right? Chat, let me know if we're good. What's good, Truth Seeker? All right, um, okay. Yes, that's exactly what I put in my video that I don't think I actually uploaded. That's annoying. I had a good what you call it and everything. I got a video for y'all. I'm gonna play it like maybe a couple of times throughout the stream so y'all can sit there and see it. Okay, and Allison says we're good. So let me upload this video. Boom. Okay, we're good. All right. As I said, good evening and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone had a great day. I I am so okay. Here's the thing. There were people in this chat that actually called it out. I know Samuel was one of them. Thank you, Spider. Yeah, I just uploaded it. But yeah, Spider, I was surprised. But Samuel actually says something. I think Samuel was like, I'm hoping. Or he says something along the lines of like that happened. What's good, Ron? So I feel like I'm coming down with something. I took some Benadryl, so I forgot my damn alcohol. We started to lose hope. Yeah. But yeah, Haley has been playing Bill like a fool, and I gotta tell you, I don't feel bad for that man at all. He deserves everything that Haley Smith they're giving it that's given. You know who also was a con artist who also used to sit there and do stuff like that? Sam McCall on General Hospital. She used to do that for a while as well. I don't know if y'all remember the story when her past finally caught up with her. Um, yep. So I was like, it was. I didn't say that in my review, but I was sitting there thinking about it though. Yeah, I mean, because here's the truth of the matter. We sat there and said that Haley's a dumbass. She's an idiot. I can't believe you were sitting there doing stupid, dummy things like that. You just, being played and everything like that. Like, and the whole time she was playing Bill and she was playing the audience. Mm-mm. Spy Quick says, Albert, if Haley's a long-term character like Sam, do you think she can be redeemed? Yeah, she can. She can. Delmax says, I immediately thought of, wait, she's not Brooke after all. She is pre-Jason Sam. Yep. Yeah. Um, so because and I said this before, because I actually put out Behind the Gates review, I got another video that I'm gonna be dropping on Saturday. I have to do it Saturday because I can't. The algorithm doesn't like when I put out. It doesn't like when YouTubers put out more than two videos. So unless Beyond the Gates is like garbage tomorrow and garbage on Friday, um, I'll be putting out the video on Saturday. And this is for everyone. There's a reason why I'm doing it too. What's good, gorgeous Queen Janet? What's good, LaShawn? Um, yeah. You know, I was a little bit. I was in I was You think Beyond the Gates is good? I think it has. Okay, I here's the thing. I sit there and say it was a good episode. It was a good episode. I am not gonna do a whole 180 and just say, "Oh my God, I love this show. It's amazing." No, but it was a good episode, and that's my whole thing. Listen, as I said in my reviews, I don't pull punches on any show. Hell, I don't pull punches on General Hospital, and I've been watching that show since high school. So I'm damn sure not about to sit there and pull no punches now. But I but one, I gotta go get my alcohol. So I will be right back. Eh, The fuck? What's good, Freddie? Don't make sure it's like we find out that Martin was acting so annoying earlier on because of his trauma, and Haley has been acting like a whiny idiot as part of her scam. What's good, Tommy? That's right, Allison. Faith Roscoe. What's good, Eagle? Sophia is off on the run. Hopefully, she'll never come back on days. If only we can hope, right? Susan says, here's me thinking Leslie was the most vile, corrupt character, but all along it's been Haley. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have to play this video like 3 times, and after that, yeah, Tommy, we'll sit there and talk about Mr. Shepard because I got some stuff to sit there and say about that as well, Tommy. I will say this before I show this clip. All the shows was good at all the shows was firing on all cylinders for the most part, right? They all were. I could do was good Blackmon. I could do without any scenes from Leslie at all. I think that she is just one annoying ass character, and yeah. Okay, Ron, that's great. But yeah, I gotta sit there and show y'all this clip. Also, shout out to Jay Blue for sending me this because well, yeah, see.
uh, I believe there was a huge debate a few months ago as to whether or not this was a wig. It's not. And for the people who say they know wigs when they see them, you don't. Because this is all me all the time. So it's simply growing out. That's it. That's it. I personally love it, and I hope you do too. Okay. Goodbye. Like and subscribe.
So For anyone that's been sitting there calling her wig this and wig that, and she got a wig, wig. No, that's not a wig. And tell me, okay, you've been sitting there talking about Mr. Poor Mr. Shepherd. No, he's not poor Mrs. Shepherd. He is stalker, weirdish Mr. Shepherd. Okay. This man flew out to LA. It was good, Jonathan. This man flew out to LA. And I played a video um like before 9 o'clock. This man flew out to LA to sit there and give her flowers. And you know what what Claire said? Okay, don't let it. You know what Claire said? What are you doing? Exactly. Exactly, Eagle. And one second. Oh shit, hold on. Exactly. And I get to yours in 1 second. I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? Now Ed says Albert Michael Furman had the actress that played Luna and Remy, and she said Luna sexually assaulted Will, and Remy said they're gonna give backstory into why Remy was in the closet. Oh shit, okay. All right. I didn't even think about her hair. He is using his own son to get Claire back. He is sick. Facts, Eagle, facts. Okay, Ron. Ron says, Albert, I was happy about what Tony pulled on Gabby. She thought that she was going to run the mirror. She is delusional. Okay, Ron. I know you want Anna the Dingbat to sit there and run the mirror. I got it. The first 14 times. Um, and we're gonna get into the days of our lives. We're gonna get into days of our lives. Yes, Mr. Sheffield was being a creep. So I don't understand where we get this whole. Yes, you did, Sean. I'll play. Well, I'll play before 9 o'clock. I know that you usually leave around that time, so I'll play the video in full before 9 o'clock. Um, and yeah, like Eagle said, the dude is that they're using his damn son to sit there and get her back. Like, why is Mr. Sheffield not giving her space? Because he's a creep and a stalker. Johnson says, "How do you think Thea will do as CEO of Demara?" I don't know. And one second, that, but I do got something to sit there and say about Theo. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not even worried about him being CEO of Demara. My issue was with Theo. Let me tell you something. One one of the things I'm not, I mean, there's a couple of things I'm not liking about Theo, but one of the things I'm not liking about Theo was his conversation with Gabby yesterday. Okay, his conversation with Gabby was annoying. Yes, he is the CEO of Demera. He Andre was, well, not Andre, Tony, made this fake promise to Gabby that she was gonna get the CEO position. And then when everything was said and done, he was like, nah, you're not getting that. You don't think you're gonna sit there and just play my family like that and think we're gonna be cool. But he gave her a consolation prize. He gave her Gabby's sheet back. So but there's a point when they're having this conversation, and Gabby's like, Theo can't run this company. And before she got a chance to sit there and say why he wasn't qualified to run the company, he was like, the reason why he can't run the company, he was like, why? Because I'm autistic? And it was like, no, that's not what she said. Now, if you would have actually let her finish before you just decide to just start talking for her, she practically was like, you don't have experience in there running a big company, a big corporation like that. I can't stand that shit. And they made this whole big deal about being, what was it called? Neurodivergent? What's good, Abadoc? Um, it was like, bro, I just, I don't like that. Like, don't put words in people's mouths. I can't stand that shit. If I'm having a conversation with you and you just decide to just talk for me, it's like, what are we doing? And I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. But like, I just didn't like the fact that he was putting words in her mouth. Like, why don't you let her finish her sentence before you cut her off? No, Ed says, out of Vanessa makes me sick. She only cares about having blank with this man and Doug's barely in the ground. Yeah. Yeah, she's making me sick too. When Randy came in and she was like, I love Doug in his own way. And like, if I'm just gonna be honest. I was like, yo, listen, if that's your version of love, then this man's probably better off in the ground. Because nobody should be loved by you if that's your version of love. Like, that is absolutely insane. I can't believe she actually said that shit. This is my whole thing. I do not feel bad for Vanessa whatsoever. This man, like, let me put it this way. What happened to Noah? His face is bandaged up. Yep, there you go, Lobby. Um, yeah, what Lobby said. Even if Joey, let's just sit there and say Joey didn't have anything to do with Doug's death, it would still just be out of pocket. Like Ed said, this man's body is barely in the ground. She's sitting up there making out with this man in his goddamn casino. I'm like, how disgusting can one person be? That's what I was saying. So I was a little bit, and yeah, I might get to that in a second. But yeah, screw it. I'll get to that now. Yep, exactly. Like, damn, listen, I'm practically pimping out my cousin to sit there and screw over these wealthy men, but yeah, you hella wrong. Yep, exactly, Lorby. So now we know who the father of Sophia's baby is. It is Aaron. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like, yeah, it's Aaron. And I feel like this was a very last minute decision. I felt like it was put together very sloppy, if we're gonna be honest. Like, also, I mean, listen, I get that they're young and dumb and everything like that, but like part of me, like, here's the thing: if you're friends and you're guy friends or whatever, when did they do it? That was the confusing part. Exactly. Apparently, well, they must have did it over sometime over the summer or whatever, but it's okay. We're guy friends and stuff like that. We gonna sit there and be like, yo, man, I'm not gonna lie, I hooked up with Sophia, bro. Yeah, I mean, listen, bro, I've been sitting up there, thinking this chick been fine as hell for a while, and like one night, I mean, she was there and I was there. I feel like that's how those type of conversations would go. Not, oh, so you're the father of the baby? Damn. For a hot minute, I thought I was going to be the father of the baby. I mean, I did sit there and want to sleep with her. I just figured I should tell you that. But fucking nothing? What the fuck am I watching? Susan says, I never thought it was Aaron because I didn't even know they slept together until today. Yeah, together when they went to watch that movie. Maybe. I mean, the point is, it just seems so. You know what? Honestly, tell you the truth. You know what I have to sit there and say about Jason telling Carly the truth? Fuck Jason. Fuck Jason and the horse he rode in on. Um, but like it just seems so out of place. Like it really seemed out of place. And some as Felicia and Mark. Oh, I don't know, Ron. I got something to say about that stuff, but um as it happened during the body and soul storyline when the original Sophia last seen. Yeah, but you know, like I said, okay, the point is that it was done very sloppy. It was done very sloppy. It seemed like it was done very last minute. Tommy says, "How do you feel about YNR?" I don't give a shit about. Okay, let me tell you how I feel about YNR, Tommy. I don't give a shit about um the Nick and Sharon stuff. The crying was really annoying. I mean, she was just like, "It's bad. It's really, really bad." I'm just like, are, are you fucking serious? I gotta sit through this for a whole damn hour. That's how I feel about it. That's exactly how I feel about it. Because let me tell you something. Seriously, Eagle, like her crying scenes are just like, ugh. It's like I gotta be on my phone doing something else while I sit through her damn scenes. And let me, it's really weird. They seem like they're actually. I mean, the other stuff was good, Tommy. I just didn't care about the Nick and Sharon stuff. Um, and they're putting a lot into this Noah story. You know, they got him bandaged up in the face. They're going to probably do plastic surgery, which is really odd because this is not even the first Noah that they had, right? They had Adam something, they had Rory or whatever. Yeah, it felt like they had to sit there and get this guy into an accident just to change faces. So, like, I mean, is this story really going to pay off? Also, I will sit there and say this. It was good to sit there and see tomorrow. It was good to sit there and see. Oh, 6 or 7. Wow. Okay. But it was good to see Tamara Brown. It was good to see her. Um, oh, we get to sit there and see more of her, right? So that was cool. There's a point where because Claire sit there and she's just chilling. She's probably recovering from the hangover, or whatever, and she sees Kyle, and she also asks like, "How's your son? Like, did you just up and leave your son just home alone or whatever?" Like the fact that she was sitting there checking him, like, "Yo, you didn't just like leave him alone by himself, right?" Like this, it is also a point where she literally sat there and said that was creepy. That he started going to each and every single hotel, and she was like, "Well, that's creepy." It's also kind of weird because she's been sitting there stalking her so-called family for years, but yeah, she wants to sit there and start calling somebody creepy. But okay, sure. Um, I just he was like, "Well, I'll be at the hotel for a little bit, you know, doing some work calls." Yeah, okay, doing some work calls. Work calls my ass. Like it just yeah, sure, Ron. That's exactly what I am. I'm upset. Whatever you say, bro. Um, Sean said, "Did someone tell her the Me Too movement is okay?" Um, not gonna touch that. Okay, Eagle says Albert, the actress that played Nicole on Days, reached a settlement in her lawsuit. Yeah, I heard about that, which is good. Um, yeah, I'm not even gonna go. I'm not even gonna go with that. Yeah. What the hell was I gonna sit there and say? Yes, LaShawn, that is correct. So yeah, I don't know what that means though, right? Like, okay, so she did all this, the recent settlement. What happens next, right? Is she is she coming back? Is there a reason for her to come back? Are they gonna sit there and add more story if she comes back? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Eagle. I was actually kind of upset when Tate stopped her. When Tate stopped her from getting on that plane, I was like, mother. Because part of me was like, I really thought I was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Holly. I do. But I really want to get rid of this fucking teen story. Like I do. It was good. I'm out ahead. I wanted to sit there and get rid of this damn teen story. And they just brung her right back. Johnson says my prediction is that Theo running Demare will cause a divide between him and Abe, and he will run the company for a while, but then eventually step down. Yeah, I thought I was done, and we're gonna get into they just not letting Haley go, but I'm tired of Tate bratty voice when he yells at. Yeah, that is true. That's definitely true. Ego. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna read this comment and I'm gonna get back to my rant. Spy Quick says I was so upset Haley back. I just wanted her off. I'm so tired of her. She's one of the reasons why Day sucks. Her and Tate and Julie and Jennifer. Yeah. It was good, cherry ice cream. Yeah, that's correct, Mundo, Jonathan. She was playing him the entire time. Couldn't happen to a better man. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, that's what I was saying before. Thomas and Rachel. You know, it's amazing. Each and every time that Rachel comes in the show, she finds a way to just get even more annoying, which is like fucking amazing. But Thomas is like, as long as Kat is here, then I'm not, and I'm leaving. And I'm like, Thomas, you don't honestly think that she was good, Cherry? It's good to see you. You don't honestly sit there and think that this grown ass woman is going to uproot her life along with Felicity, because you're not happy. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, Thomas, you can go and you can be gone. Like, you can go. The fact that Rachel sitting there giving him pointers like, well, that's how I got rid of Chloe. And I'm like, and that's the reason. And honestly, tell you the truth, when she was sitting there bragging about that stuff, I was like, and this is the reason why when you had a birthday party, you had no other people your age around you. The only people that was at your birthday party was grown ass adults because nobody likes you. And I know this is harsh to sit there and say, but like you're the daughter of Kristen Demera, and you honestly sitting there thinking that the shit that you're doing and what you're sitting there telling Thomas is cool and it's a good idea. You had a goddamn birthday party by yourself. You were probably the richest girl in that classroom, yet you couldn't get one person your age. Eagle says watching Chad being a father is a reason I never be one. Rachel got Chad's kid acting crazy like her. Well, I don't like the fact I would never let anyone dictate who I date. Exactly. And honestly, tell you the truth, even when he broke up with Kat, Jennifer was still on that bullshit. She was still acting like a goddamn Karen. It was like, girl, you got exactly what you want, and you still running your damn mouth. Are you kidding me right now? I was, yeah, I would not let my children sit there and dictate who the fuck I'm dating. And the fact that he let his child sit there and talk to him like that is just crazy. It's like, yo, are we just out of pocket with who's supposed to be the child, who's supposed to be the adult? Run her 40th year with her BS. Yeah. Chad needs to move out of Julie's house. Absolutely. Yep, they did because Thomas started having a damn temper tantrum. Eva says Thomas getting advice from Rachel was trash because Chloe and Ava left had nothing to do with Rachel. Well, she didn't help at the very least, but you're correct, Jonathan. He should. Spycrack says, I hate Julie and Jennifer so much. They're the worst characters ever. Like, damn, they worse than Drew. At least he's entertaining. Mm, that's true. Sean says, Rory is upset, is absolutely killing me as Michael. Yeah, it's almost like people don't even miss Chadu anymore. Yeah, Tommy, Mr. Sheffer was wrong. He's definitely a stalker. Um, and yeah, you're right. Victoria should not have given that address. Lorby says, sorry, I keep asking, but haven't seen Days for a while now since it hasn't appeared on YouTube. Yeah, and no, it's cool, Lorby. Listen, I first of all, I wish I had time to sit there and do all of the stuff. Well, I wish I had time to do all the stuff, and I wish the algorithm wouldn't punish me for uploading more than two videos. Because I would love. My day was all right, Tommy. I was off today. I got a lot of stuff done, and I got a very interesting video done today that I'm going to be putting out on Saturday. So, how was your day, Tommy? All right. What else? My goddamn alcohol. That's good, Tommy. Having a day off is actually pretty nice. Danny Barry 7. Danny was cooking on Saturday. Weren't you, Danny Bear? As you know, I was there. Yeah, that's right. Danny was cooking. Sean says I work 5 days a week and love having my weekends. Yeah. It wasn't really that bad, Laura B. It was just raining. That was the part that was just annoying. It was raining. I know, Danny, you was on for 3 hours. I was like, damn, okay, girl. Danny was sitting there trying to break my goddamn record. Well, I mean, Jonathan poisoned his food. Remember, she wants to make it look like an accident. She wants to make it look like an accident because she got to sit there and get that $10 million payout. So I'm just happy that she's not looking like Boo Boo the Fool, like we thought. And like I said, she's been doing this for years. She's been doing this for years. So But yeah, Lorby, they haven't really been uploading. Um, they haven't really Claire on Wine. Yeah, Claire on Wine. What about Claire on Wine? They haven't really been uploading any episodes on days. I mean, They haven't been uploading any Days of Our Lives episodes on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know why, but Janet don't miss Chad. Yeah. No, that's right, Jonathan. Then she said that she arranged that whole thing as far as meeting Naomi in the gym. So Ron says I was watching news about a young lady named Katie being missing. I thought that she would have pulled the Carlin hoax about faking her disappearance to get attention. Yeah, that's interesting. Yes, that okay. So we gotta talk about this whole So what the hell was Cynthia saying? So yeah, Rick was actually found today by Cody. Um, and that whole scene when he got upstairs and Lex was on the phone and Lex was like, "Okay, all right, so gotta go, all right, bye," and she was like, "Oh shit." I don't know how to take that. I was a little surprised that Cody was the one that found Rick. So I was a little surprised at that. Ron says, Albert, what's your take, Cat at the hospital? What do you mean by that? What's my take on Cat at the hospital? I don't understand the question. Like, I don't know what that means. What's your take on Cat at the hospital? But yeah, yeah, I was generally surprised. Johnson says, so Beyond the Gates revealed another villain to us. Yes. Yes, they did. Ron says, how will Kat feel about being an aunt alongside Felicity? Oh, I have no idea. I don't know how she's gonna feel. I think she's gonna be more mad. She's gonna be more mad at Sophia of what she did to Aaron. I don't think she's gonna be sitting there thinking like, oh my god, I'm an aunt, because she's gonna be too pissed off sitting there thinking about like what Sophia wound up doing. Guy says Cody finding Rick is to bring him and Molly closer together. But yeah, and so the scene with Sophia and Melinda was, I don't know what to think about that. But when she stormed out, when she was acting like a fucking child, she even ran away her damn teddy bear. Melinda called her up like, "Hey, listen, um, I can't protect you anymore, but I've been so good to you. You know, you're you're gonna protect me too, right?" And I'm like, Melinda, you trying to cover that ass, aren't you? You trying to cover that ass. You know damn well you just want to make sure that she does not say anything to out your ass. Because girl, at the very least, besides potentially going to jail, you're losing that law license, right? Like you're aware that you are going to be losing that law license, which this whole her. Here's the thing: I don't feel bad if she loses her license. She winds up in jail. I don't care. She deserves it. You sat there and practically helped an unstable, immature little girl. Like, you get exactly what the hell you actually raped. I do not feel bad for you at all whatsoever. Um, well, she shouldn't have sat there and hooked up with Sophia and her crazy ass. Just crazy, immature. She comes over and she's telling her story. Why the hell not? She sat there and helped an unstable young woman on this bullshit quest. And like she listen, she did exactly what the hell she did. Okay, well, I mean, I kind of answered your question, Ron. You asked me how is Sophia going to sit there and take it being an aunt? So, like, yeah, I answered that question. No, Lord B, the baby is still with Javi and Leo. So the baby's still with Javi and Leo. Um, they still have some issues with Johnny being the potential um parent. So, they're keeping an eye on, well, Leo has a problem with Johnny being in charge. I mean, being the potential father. Now, as far as, like I said, as far as Theo, oh, we found out that the guy who bullied Theo is going to be coming into town soon, um, or is actually already in town, and he's going to be tutored by Abe. So we're gonna probably see some more scenes with that, and I don't know. I think between the stuff with him and JJ and his conversation with Gabby, and granted, I'm not just saying I hate him because I know how some soap opera fans just assume because you don't like somebody you hate them, but um, he's just doing some shit that's just I'm not liking so far. Really not liking, and I wish I had time to sit there and do a review on it, but maybe he will. Ron, maybe he will sit there and think like he's too young to have a child, and he might just do that. He might just do that. I don't know. Again, the way that they wrote this whole thing is so damn sloppy. Um, but and now Abe is upset, and now Abe is upset with Paulina because Paulina practically was proud of Theo being, you know, in the company and CEO and everything like that. And so when Theo leaves, like Abe starts like kind of barking at her kind of hard. Tommy says, "I want a truck so badly. I do want two car payments." You do want two car payments? I don't know what that means. Exactly, Laura B. Yes, but who knows at this point, right? Sophia's that they're running scared, and I don't want I don't want two car payments. Okay. And I don't get he doesn't like the Damaris, but that's his exact exactly. Exactly. That's his son. Like his son is the Damaris. And listen, I get it. He talked about Lexi and how Lexi, he said that, by the time that Damaris was done with Lexi, he didn't recognize her. But like, you know, I don't think so either, Jonathan. I mean, listen, he already has a complicated enough life with just school and taking care of his sister and everything like that, Felicity. I want to give my car to my dad and take over and take over the payments. Wait, hold on, let me just make sure I get let me drink on this for a hot minute. Hold on. Tommy, you just said that I want to give my car to my dad and take over the payments. S- You want to give your dad you want to give your dad a car and practically give him the debt that you owe those cars. So you want to give him a car, you want your dad to take the car and the debt that you owe. Did I just get that right? Is that what you just actually said? I want his to take over. You want his to take over the payment. Sound like you want your dad to sit there and take. No, no. Listen, that can be sorry to me. I mean, it's totally possible, Jonathan. I mean, at this point, like, I don't know. It was good, Lashawn. What's good, Lashawn? It's hard to sit there. I mean, maybe it's just me because I don't really sit there and think about theories like who shot um Drew. I would sit there and say this much about Willow in these yeah, it's totally possible. It is absolutely possible that somebody else. Oh, it's on his name too. Okay. It is, yeah, it's absolutely possible that Carly and Michael didn't have anything to do with setting up Willow. My whole thing is like, Willow, you need to kind of just chill out. Yeah, they have, what I'm saying? Like, they could place the gun next to you because it was found in your room you know, at Liz's place. But you also do have Carly, and you also do have Michael. So they could stop with the tears and everything like that. Just chill out a little bit and just ride this out. Like, they don't have this. They don't have the proof like you think that they do. Yeah, you're right, Ron. You're absolutely right. Tommy says I can't do this to him. He do need a new car. His car is 12 years old and have X amount of miles. Okay, okay, John. You think Outback did it? You said that Danny did it also. Um, but okay. It says Drew in Sitwell's pocket. That scene was gold yesterday. It was a good scene. It was a good scene. Drew definitely overplayed his hand. He felt like because he was a posh. Should I do this? Should you give him? Well, I'm sorry. What is even a question? I'm reading so much stuff. Like, what is even a question? I want his to take over the payment. I don't know. Maybe because the aqua is starting to get to me, but sure, I offer him my car. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tommy, that'd be nice. He needs a new car and you want to sit there and get rid of it. So why not? That's a nice thing for you to do, Tommy. Ron, then I would sit there and think that's a very stupid story. Then I would sit there and say it's a very dumb story. That's what I would sit there and say. I really do want a truck. I'm work at a car dealership. Yeah, if you want a truck and you it just well, yeah, that two payments. Yeah. So if you give him the car, he takes the car, he takes the payments, and we can sit there and try to save up for a truck. So okay, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Well, it doesn't even matter at this point, Ed. Like she literally just sit there, like she blew up the I can't even sit there and think of it. She blew up the alibi, right? She blew up the alibi, and so now at this point it's like Nina is screwed. Well, here's the thing: Willow is not as screwed as she thinks. Okay, cool. So she lied about an alibi, and they could probably charge her with that. But I mean, they don't want that. They want to sit there and find out the person who shot Drew. So I'm like, if she just keeps her damn mouth shut, just let Marty do all the work. He's a decent, competent lawyer. I think he'll be fine. I don't think that she's dark, Tommy. I think that she wants to sit there and make her own mistakes, and she's not ready right now for a serious relationship. She's not. The sad thing is that like it's Kyle that keeps messing up this relationship. She's like, all you're doing is proving why we shouldn't be together. You flew all the way to LA to sit there and get up in her face. No, Ed, I don't. I don't think that Michael um set Willow up. But to be honest, I don't know. That's the problem. That's the problem, Ed. I don't even know. I don't I wouldn't totally discount it out, but for right now I'll sit there and say no. Warby says, how do you figure Claire is dark? Oh, you're talking to him. That's the problem though. Like this okay, you know how many people actually counted in this episode? 19 people in this one episode. Now, some of y'all have been watching General Hospital longer than me. So why the hell are there so many goddamn people on this episode? Like, why is there so many people? I don't understand that. I don't get that. Yeah, Ed, I do too. That's always bothered me. This is something that me and Brock can agree with. You know, he used to constantly sit there and let the women in his life constantly tell this man what to do. If it wasn't Carly, it was one of the women he was dating. It was Sam. It was always somebody. Yeah, and there was I because I've been counting how many people are in episodes per day. For the past I think maybe 2 or 3 days, and I think yesterday was 14. Or was it six? It was either between 14 and 16 people. Oh, that's what's up, Tommy. That's what's up. Like I always sit there and say, I'm like, General Hospital is probably the most complex show to review. Beyond the Gates is the second most complex show to review. It I just, you know what it is? I write lots of notes, and I write so much notes that it feels like I'm writing a book. I actually need a new notebook, and that's the thing. And it takes me so long to sit there and do a review because I'm writing each and every single character and what they're doing and everything like that. But it's I don't remember General Hospital having so many characters in one episode. It's the reason why the stories sometimes move at a snail's pace. Johnson says, "Do you think Haley might pull a gun on Danny one day?" No, too sloppy. She's trying to get that money in and out. Yeah, Sean, we gotta sit there and because I know she was on a lot more like left. So at some point we're gonna sit there and do old clips of her. But now she's been doing it too long. She wants to, you know what I'm saying? Like that will mess up her plans as far as getting money. Now, if she does pull a gun on her, she's doing it out of anger. Oh, it started in 2009. I don't remember it even being like that with that many characters. Wow. Hmm. Maybe I probably wouldn't have noticed it because I wasn't doing reviews back then, but I just know that there was a lot of characters in today's episode. Up until a point, I was like, "What am I?" And the sad thing is that we didn't even sit there and talk about. We didn't talk about the conversation. I feel bad for Rick. Yeah, but the thing is, though, like you watch that scene, right? You have Rick, Ava, Christina, and Ava Smith. They're both telling their story to Cody to try to make him feel more sympathetic towards the people that are telling these stories. And the sad thing is that all of them are fucked up. All of them. All four of them that are snitching. First of all, like Rick and Ava are taking money from a damn baby. Okay? Ava is a fucking scumbag. She is an absolute piece of basuda. There is nothing else to sit there and say about that. And so is Rick. Rick wants to sit there and try to. Rick is into, yeah, well, that stuff is very fun. When you have the time to actually, you know, watch it. But mm, I'm like, they're all scumbags. And Christina's like, well, he sat there and blackmailed my mother. Yeah, he blackmailed your mother because you cut the brakes off of what you thought was Ava's car. You tried to literally sit there and kill her. But you want to sit there and start talking about poor me and this is all Rick's fault? And Alexis is actually no better. The fact that they sat there and they both called each other good mothers, like, you two are not good mothers. Like, let's be honest, you two are not good mothers at all. Oh, okay, let's see. Ed says Albert, the actor that played TJ on his Instagram, gave an update. He got nominated for the Soap Awards and he's doing other projects, but no word on him coming back as TJ. Was that a recent one? Because I remember covering that before. Exactly, Allison. Oh, Basuda. Sean said this is one of the few really stupid story lines going on in GH. Hmm. Now, the hell was I said? Damn, sorry. Let me take a drink before I read this. Hold on. Also, I know how Danny feels about Rick. Danny says Rick is the most innocent of them all. He got dragged into this because of Christina cutting his brake lines, then Ava coming up with the scheme to blackmail Alexis. I don't remember Ava sitting there putting a gun to Rick's head and Snitcher saying, well, you're gonna help me sit there and steal money from this baby. I remember her doing that. I remember Rick's greedy ass basically being like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and don't screw me out of it. Listen, he's also participating in stealing money from the baby. So as far as I'm concerned, both Ava and Rick are terrible goddamn people. Rick is the most innocent of them all. That was good. That's 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 good, Danny. I like that. I'll make sure I think about that tomorrow when I'm at work. But I get it. I get it, Danny. I know, like I said, I know how you feel about Rick. So I don't shame you for that. I mean, it's your opinion. So Rick is not innocent. He effed around and found out. Yeah. And Tommy got work tomorrow. Well, it's always good to sit there and have work for what it's worth. Make money and all the other stuff that I can't sit there and think of. Wow. We are leaping. Oof. Chad, I want you to read that. That's good. I like that. Okay. All right. You know what? You've been a good sport. I'm a. Okay. Yeah, that's cute. Danny said Rick would have never thought of that. Ava came up with all of that. Yeah, Ava came up with that. So, she put ideas into Rick's head, and apparently, you know, Rick has the mental capacity of a 12-year-old that was just like, yeah, cool. That's a good idea. I'm just stupid enough to sit there and break the law, and I'm moral enough to sit there and take money from a goddamn baby. But, I guess when he gets caught by the cops, he could sit there and say, well, Ava's the one that actually came up with that idea. I mean, I wouldn't even have thought of that if it wasn't for Ava. You're wrong. Like I said, Ava's a scumbag as well. Ava's a scumbag. Alexis is. There we go. There we go. Like that. And it says, not everyone, I'm going to watch that episode of GH and see Rick and Ava and Christina pointing fingers at each other. Exactly. We gotta do that for prostitute. Yeah. But yes, have a good night. Have a good night, Ed. Rick would have done the right thing and turned Christina in. Yes, you have a great night. You have a great night, Sean. Kelly says, nah, nah, Slick Rick would have definitely thought of it. Y'all figured Abel wanted a small amount once she told Rick next day. He made all the moves afterwards. Yes, thank you, Sean. Thank you for coming through. I was actually kind of annoyed. And you know what? You're right, Jonathan. I'm like, he literally sat there and made all those choices by himself. Cape and Heart. Yes, you will, Sean. Yes, you will. We're gonna get into it tomorrow, Sean. I've been gone for like 2 days. I felt like it's been 3 days. Hmm. Very intelligent question. LaShawn says, "Why haven't Britt Westbourne asked about Spencer Cassadine?" Yeah, she's too busy snit there trying to defend her sleazy ass friend Brad. You know Brad, the blackmailer. What's good, Tracy Steves? How are you doing tonight? When you switching over, sir? Oh, my darling cat lady. Only person who's actually snit they complaining. In a second. Tracy says, "Do you think that's really Britt's brother?" I do. But, I've been wrong before, so I guess we'll see. Oh, and I do got something to show y'all again. Oh, Jonathan, did you hear about the latest news? They say when Warner Brothers is gone, when Warner Brothers is switched over, James Gunn is out. You know, I just wish that you would put an LOL there so we know that you're joking, Danny Bear. There it was like, your movie was a failure. Peacemaker was a failure. We're gonna restart the DC over again for the third time. Goddamn DC fans don't know what they want. Exactly, Ellison. Rick, you know what? Yeah, Rick is no goddamn victim. I feel like Danny's trolling at this point. Yeah, sure, Jonathan. At this point, the sad thing is that I just don't care. What's good, Jess? You know what, Jess? I'm glad that you're here. I'm about to sit there and play a video. And yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate, LaShawn. You're right. Nope. Okay.
uh, I believe there was a huge debate a few months ago as to whether or not this was a wig. It's not. And for the people who say they know wigs when they see them, you don't. Because this is all me all the time. So it's simply growing out. That's it. That's it. I personally love it, and I hope you do too. Okay. Goodbye. Like and subscribe.
So again, for anyone that thought that Carol Hennessy, I think that's her name. Carol something with an H. Yeah, Jess. And again, shout out to Jay Blue. But yeah, that was not a wig. So for anyone that they call her wig this, wig that, and wig, well, y'all were wrong with a capital fucking W. Now, like I said, it's good. Maybe, but Johnson says I never thought she was wearing a wig. Yeah, exactly. That's a damn good question, Allison. But people thought it, but the thing was, it wasn't so much that people thought it. Yes, Cat Lady Blackmon is here. Yep, that's right. And now we know the truth. We can put it to bed. And yeah. But again, Haley is playing Bill like a fiddle, and it could not happen to a more screwed up human being. Johnson says it's possible that they will continue with the current DCU, but without James Gunn. Yeah, it's possible. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm going to be honest. This is one of those things where I kind of blame the fans. They don't know what the hell they want. Just as Beyond the Gates got me hooked now. It's see, yes, and I'm not gonna lie. I was just met there praising the show. I was just well, and don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm liking this Haley stuff, right? She played Bill. Hell, she played the audience, and I will give Beyond the Gates that credit. It still needs to work on that. It still needs to work on some stuff. So my foot is not necessarily off of Beyond the Gates' neck, but she wasn't Boo Boo the Fool, but she was playing Bill like he was. Haley says Haley is everything I wanted her to be, and yes, Danny was right from the start. Facts. Just says like, damn, she was a con the whole time. I thought she really loved him. Facts, yes. And like Jonathan said, she's a villain. Haley is not an annoyance. She was annoying in the beginning, but she played us all. She played me. Listen, she played me, and I will give him that. Tommy, I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to sit there and get hooked on the Young and Restless. It's hard to get hooked on Young and Restless. It's it takes a lot. That's the thing. You have to be invested in the characters, right? Because if the business stuff doesn't really pull you in, like you know, doesn't really pull you in like that, then you have to be invested in the characters. And that takes time. That's another thing, Tommy. Like watching somebody like Kyle, who is an entitled prick, who has been handed everything his entire life, and decides to fly out to LA to sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna make your face," when Claire is literally sitting there telling him, "What are you doing here?" Just says, "I don't know how she thinks she can kill him, though." Johnson says, "If anyone has sympathy for the way Haley was being treated, you don't need to feel sorry for her anymore." Yes. Sad thing is that I never had sympathy for Haley. Even before this whole um gold digger taking her out. Who is Griffin? Griffin from General Hospital, RB. You remember Griffin? Plain, and Jess, we were sitting there talking about this before. We was like, this is a callback to Sam McCall. Remember, Sam McCall was a drifter. Sam McCall used to sit there and be taking money from different people and everything like that, and it eventually caught up with her. It eventually caught up with her. The daughter of the man that he played, that she played, came into town. Yep. This is a callback to what you call it, to that whole thing. Yeah, they need another cop in YNR Lobby. They do. Chelsea on YNR, LOI Haley is her Sam. Yeah, yeah, they're in the same universe. Tolerance. Oh, where the hell's my music at? Well, yeah, Lori, I think that was one of the questions that I think Jonathan asked. Could Haley be redeemed? Yeah, she could be redeemed. Sam was, she was doing con jobs and stuff like that. Now, granted, see the thing. Okay, here's the thing with Sam. When Sam was doing con jobs, she was, also taking care of her disabled brother. She was trying to do this so she can make ends meet to sit there and take care of her brother Danny. Haley was just sit there doing because she wanted the money. She didn't care who she screwed over, whatever. And granted, we never saw her con jobs, but we knew why Sam was doing what she was doing. So it's a little different. Wow. I guess they didn't miss a beat, huh? The weird thing is Randy is essentially piping out his cousin and is still first of all, who said that he's broke? And second of all, I thought about that, but I was like, what if she's the one that's actually, you know, maybe he's not pimping her out. Maybe this is what she wants, and he's just not there helping facilitate that. Like he helped when she had to fake a pregnancy, or a fake a miscarriage, and the dude was able to go in that place and set up the fake blood and stuff like that. He don't have no damn money. Okay, but exactly. Randy was like, "Nah, that's a bad idea. You don't want those problems. Like those are the problems that'll send you to the grave early." That's same. Oh, that's what I was sitting there trying to say before. So I was in Beyond the Gates chat with Candace and I forgot the other chick's name, but or was it Tammy Covea? But Tammy was like, I feel bad for, was it Haley or was it Vanessa? He's assisting her. He's assisting her play these men. Ooh, okay. Now, Kelly said so deep down Randy was lying to poor Doug this whole time, busy in the background scheming. Oh, Amanda. Amanda Russ. Okay, thank you. I can't remember her name because I know Tammy because I always usually see Tammy, but yes, Allison. See, that's the thing I said before. Was like, it was very satisfying to sit there because I'm like, bro, in what universe do you honestly think that Drew's going to be controlling Sitwell? Well, you come when I tell you to come, and you use your influence to sit there and steer the direction. You blackmail. You put up money to make it look like Michael was black. That Michael sent the money, and he was like, "Yeah, well, according to unnamed sources, you're the one that looked like you were." Oh, it's Amanda. Okay. Johnson says I used to think Leslie was a threatening villain, but now she comes off more cartoonish. Hayley is the true villain. Leslie is just fucking annoying. Like every time I had to sit there and see Leslie, it's a fucking joy. Also, Jonathan, just on a side note, did you watch Marvel's Zombies? Just as I'm so glad Jason told Carly about Johnson this week, it didn't make sense that he was yo. And I got something to sit there and say about. I got something to sit there and say about Jason telling the truth. Fuck Jason Morgan and the horse that he rode in on. Okay, no, let me know. Let me know what you think. Yeah, exactly. Fuck him and the horse you rode in on. I ain't pulling no punches. And granted, I say that now, but I reserve the right to sit there and change my mind once I find out why he revealed what he revealed. But for now, yeah. Also, because he blown her cover. Like she was like, "Hey, listen, I need you to sit there and keep this between me and you," and you just told. You just sat there and started running your damn mouth. Like you did exactly the opposite of what this girl asked you to do. Justin says, "Abby, you are out of the Stone Cold Club now. Return his jacket." Thank you, Laura B. Allison says, "Abby, you're not a Jason fan." I am a Jason fan, but I keep it real though. I keeps it real. And Cat Lady, she's just being sassy and cute, so that's what she do. I mean, Carly comes first in his life, so he's not about to keep shit from her. Yeah, he he would not keep his word. Yeah, like, and that's another problem. Like, I understand why Britt in some ways don't want to F with him, but I'm like, girl, stop sitting there calling him for minor and dumb shit, though, if that's the case. Johnson says, do you think Ronnie is legit or could Tracy be right about her? It's hard to sit there and tell at this point. That's the problem. Like, it's very hard to sit there and tell at this point. And I haven't even really sat there and even guessed one way or the other. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait till that comes out. Like, um, especially since they like to sit there. Like okay, you saw how this whole. That's another reason why I don't really like playing guessing games. You saw how they did that reveal with Aaron, which again, the way they did that was like the entire time he slept with her, he only said something a little bit afterwards. So it's so. Just do you think Michael planted the gun? No, I don't. I know that Michael has one a little more darker than his usual run, played by Chad Duell, but no, I don't even think that he would have did that because I think at this point he kind of realized that there's a good chance that could backfire on him, right? That could backfire him, and if it got discovered, he would wind up definitely losing his kids, and he's not about to lose his kids to Willow just to sit there and put her in jail. So no, I don't. I also don't think it was Carly either. I don't know why. I just, also I feel like they're too much of the obvious choice. They're too much of the obvious choice to sit there and say it's either one of them. And that's the truth of the matter. I mean, my whole thing is the thing with Willow. What do you think did it? I have no idea. And that's the problem. That's the problem, Tracy. Right? Like, you go back to Days of Our Lives, and people was like, "Oh, it was Aaron that did it. Aaron is the father of that child." And we all saw the way that Sophia treated Aaron. Right? We all saw the way that Sophia treated Aaron, and somehow she didn't. His thing. She didn't even look like she looked like she barely wanted to be friends with him, but yet she hooked up with him. That's the problem right there. It's like the stuff that doesn't would not normally make sense just made sense out of nowhere, right? Like, you go back to the Hook storyline. Now everything added up in some ways with I forgot her god Heather Weber. Where Heather Weber is not there being the Hook killer. But a lot of people was like, this just does not make sense. And with soap operas like to sit there and pull that out of nowhere, out their ass card, everything that you would think that would make sense just goes out the fucking window. Like honestly, tell you the truth, I would have never thought that Willow was the one that was behind messing with Sasha's baby. Because that type of seriously, that type of behavior just like came out of nowhere. Yeah, we've seen Willow fight for what she feels was right with Shiloh. You know, we've seen her give as good as she can get to some extent. But what she did with that baby, that was diabolical. She smiled when she found out that Sasha left town. That's not the Willow that I know. That's not even the Willow that on paper would do something like that. For my reason, they decided to just change that shit all around. And that's another thing, right? Right, Allison? She's not just saying she could have the idea. And it's like, it wouldn't make sense, but like, writers don't necessarily do things that make sense. Kelly says, not really. Once we all learned Willow was Nina, we knew that her day was coming. Did we though? I mean, did we really? I get what Kathleen Smith is saying. Her mom's crazy, so it wouldn't be that far off for her to be crazy. But I don't know. I kind of look at that and I'm just like, there have been a lot of bad characters that have come from broken homes, and I feel like that's kind of jumping to conclusions, cat lady. But okay. Just as if it's not Willow, I don't know who else it could be. Danny would be a good one. That's what Sean said. Johnson said people people have but said that Drew is really Charlotte wearing a mask. But what if Willow is actually now wearing a mask? I mean, that'd be some far out shit. But General Hospital did have aliens on the show at one point, so it's only. See, I could, and that's the thing. I could believe that a little bit more. I could believe that a little bit more. Really? I did not know that. Hmm, that's interesting. It's so hard to sit there and tell where the story is gonna go. You know, it's like today when Cody was the one that found. That's so interesting. That's like today when it was Rick was the one that discovered. I mean, when it was Cody the one that discovered Rick. You know. Well, the thing about Nell, like for me, Nell was very one note. She's a very one note character. Kelly says not for us normal folks. It's just Albert, just you. Kelly, you stop it. He didn't, and he was about to just sit there and walk out and be like, you know what? Listen, this shit is just too damn crazy for me. Of course, when he did start to walk out, well, he's a better person than he was, you know. Yeah, and Jordan. Remember, Jordan was the police commissioner as well, and she wasn't really snipped there solving a lot of crimes. Hell, I don't remember her actually solving any crimes when she was in Pine Valley either. So who the hell knows? As she should, right? You had all three of these women sitting there trying to point the finger at Rick, and Rick sitting there pointing the finger back at all three of them, and I'm like, all four of y'all are terrible goddamn people. Drew, she was the one falling for Drew all along and has been getting back at Michael and the family. It'd be very soapy. Be I would probably sit there and think you're rooting for Rick for personal reasons. Okay? Just as all of them are idiots, I hope they don't get arrested. Yeah, well, he also told Charlotte to not trust Britt. Like Britt just, don't trust Britt and don't let Rocco trust her either. Like I said, that'll be soapy. It'll be, you know, I don't know what to think about that. I mean, the sad thing is that it will. I think it'll be kind of disappointing because, like, I want it to be Willow. I want it to be Willow that just made those choices. No, she's not. But she's not there caping for Brad, who was a scumbag, getting up in Lucas' face talking about, well, what did you do to sit there and drive Brad away? I was like, Brad, the notorious blackmailer who was blackmailing Portia, who was blackmailing Michael and is not there sleeping with him. Michael is a very straight man. He was not there trying to get to sleep with him. It's actually really crazy. So we got to sit there and talk about this whole Willow being unfit, right? Willow being an unfit mother. But what does Michael do? Well, Michael, you are still sitting there staying around your father. You've been in a hospital twice, just being around him. Yeah, you take your kids around him, right? And you want to sit there and say that Drew is a bad influence on the kids and stuff like that. Drew is a lot. Besides this whole shooting thing, Drew is a lot more safe to be around than Sonny than Sonny. And yet you keep sitting there taking those damn children over there. Really? You literally had burns and scars on your body because you were too close to Sonny. But yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. Um, yeah, because her dumbass sat there and eavesdropped on a conversation about him going to therapy, which honestly, to tell you the truth, she should have been happy about. At least the dude is not there trying to find a way to move forward with her. And he saw them hugging, and she was like, mm-mm, nah. Meanwhile, Hope line looked like it's not off to a good start. And it's like, I was like, can we just get to a point where Deke is going to be her fashion designer? You saw how disappointed Ridge was when he saw those models that they're wearing her probably outdated outfits. I'm like, boo boo, you need to sit there and step this shit up. Except for how Sheila to worry about it. At least he doesn't have Luna to worry about. Luna that they're having her melt down and talk about, I can't believe you did this. This is so unfair. Me and Will trying to start a little family. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? You ever just notice that when Luna starts talking, at least for me, I start to tune out. I start to tune out whenever she starts talking because she gets in. She gets to a point where she just starts talking and she doesn't read the room and she's all like, "Oh well, you can't let me go back to prison. You got to do something." I remember it took them a half a fucking hour to sit there and put cuffs on her. I literally sat there was like, "What universe?" Like she sat there and she pulled away from the office. She was like, "No, I'm not going back to jail." It's like, first was, how old is she? And then they just let them just they just let her sat there and just talk throughout the entire time. Up until a point where Alexa sat there and slapped the shit out of her, and it was like, okay, well, you're going to jail now. Oh, now she's going to jail? Well, did you find that conversation very interesting and funny and enlightening? So you had to just sit down and not do your fucking job. We had another officer there not ready to drag her out. Like it's like I get it. It's Bold and Beautiful, and it's like when they do scenes like that, then it's kind of hard for me to sit there and justify Bold and Beautiful being the better song than Beyond the Gates. Like this, don't get me wrong, this story is actually good and it's intriguing, you know, and they impress me. Some stuff is still lacking. I was sitting there looking at Samantha yesterday. Yeah, it would have been better if he would actually did his job the first time instead of waiting for 20 or 30 minutes. Um, I guess he was just too entertained by the damn story or something. I have no idea. But the hell was I talking about before? I don't know what I was saying before. I don't know. It could have been something about being. It could have been something else about being beat that I can't remember. But yeah, I have no idea what I was actually sitting there saying. Now, DC said something that was interesting when he came on Saturday in the member stream, and he said that Born and Beautiful isn't written for an American audience. And I literally sat there. I was like, "Well, what do you mean that Born and Beautiful isn't written for an American audience?" And sometimes you hear the dialogue and you think it's just very cringy and bad, but it's like, what if it's not bad? Like you said, what if it's they get a lot of their audience international. And what if the dialogue's supposed to be catered more to an international audience than, you know, the US? I mean, we've seen some really bad dialogue, you know. And he also, it's funny, Monique sat there and said like the only reason why Ridgegate held back her line was to sit there and please Brooke. And Brooke even sat there and made an off comment about it, like, yeah, you didn't do it just because it was a good business decision. You did sit there and you did it for her. Yeah, LaShawn, I don't think that Drew is Shiloh either. But I think that people wanted to be Shiloh. People still have this image of the original Drew played by Billy. And like Spider-Quake says, some people may feel that the Drew character has been tarnished because of the writing. I think he blamed what you call it, but it's not Cameron's fault. That's true, Allison. No, it's not. Allison says and Poppy's going to learn that Luna's alive this week. I would be, yeah, it would definitely be between tomorrow and Friday. But part of me is like, okay, you're either going to be happy or sad or angry. And either way, like, part of me is like, why are you here? I mean, I know that she's there because of her daughter. Oh, shit. Thank you for reminding me. Let me say that. Allison says, besides Canada, what other countries get our soaps? That's a good question. Let me know if you know that, Jonathan. Australia. Okay, Jonathan. So yeah, daytime Emmys are this Friday. It's going to be online, right? It's not going to be, it's. I have to find a link, and I'll put a post in because I probably won't be streaming unless let me stream afterwards. Just telling you my thoughts on the Emmys, but 3 goddamn hours. I'm gonna just sit there and point out 3 hours of that, and that just seems insane. But like I said before, 8 p.m. Eastern, yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So pretty much the exact time that I generally come on. So yeah, thank you for reminding me because I'm not gonna lie, part of me would have probably missed it online. So there's actually a website that I will post in the community tab and let y'all know what the website is, so y'all can sit there and watch it if y'all choose to watch it. 7 p.m. Mountain Time and 6 p.m. Well, I mean 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. No, they're actually gonna have their own website. So I will put the name of the website on my community tab, and then y'all could just sit there and just click in and watch. Yeah, no, it's not gonna be on YouTube. And I'm gonna be honest. Here's the thing. I want people to sit there and watch it. Yeah, of course I'll listen. It's because I want people to watch it. Because let's be honest, people weren't watching it for a long time, and that's why it's not on regular TV anymore. The ratings isn't there. The ratings isn't there because people don't watch. So, the reason why they actually put it online because it's like they can't justify that they're spending. Yeah, Jonathan, you should. Yeah, I mean, listen, I want people to watch it because I'm going to be honest. If people don't tune in to watch it online, it's going to come to a day, and maybe even next year, when they decide not to do the Emmys because people aren't watching. Now, yeah, I think it's absurd to sit there and have a 3 hour show. That is just ridiculous. But for whatever reason, the powers that be decide to make it 3 hours. And I think if people actually want these Emmys to be going on and stuff like that, Johnson says actually the reason is Johnson says actually the reason it's only online is because CBS only had a tier contract with the ceremony. Yeah, but you don't, and no other network picked it up this year. But yeah, but you don't sit there and think it's they wouldn't have renewed their contract if they actually had the the ratings they need to have to sit there and justify renewing their contract. Because think about it, you know what they say, money talks, right? So if they had an overwhelming amount of people that sat there and watched it, then they would be able to sit there and justify renewing a contract. Because contracts are always given them. If they feel like it's in their best interest with the ratings, the advertising, and stuff like that, they will find a way to extend that contract. Justin says they actually did have a sizable rating for the ceremony last year. I had to sit there and check that. Allison says I would watch it if I was home, but I usually go out on Fridays. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. You put it on Fridays? Like, really? It would have made much more sense for them to put it on a Sunday. So, pretty much what Jonathan Smith is saying is that it's not necessarily like this came down to ratings. This came down to a contract. And I'm not sitting there doubting you. That's right. Sunday would be better. And I'm not sitting there doubting you, Jonathan. But I have to sit there and say, like, I think that, and that's another thing. Like, you know, having a decent, sizable rating is not saying it actually has good ratings. It's the same thing with Superman, Jonathan. Somebody explained this in a sense like it didn't make the money that it should have made, right? Not just domestic, but like outside of that. And they're considering a flop because it didn't make the money. It didn't sit there and covers up the markets that it needed to cover. Well, that's the thing though, Allison. A lot of shows that they put on a Friday. They call it like the deaf time slot because people are home on Fridays. A lot of shows have been put on Fridays and have been canceled because no one's fucking watching it. But on Sunday, want to watch. So part of me does feel like it still has a lot to do with the fans. It's like the BT Awards. People are upset that it's not going to be an award show. I'm like, well, now people didn't sit there and turn up to sit there and justify it. Yeah, but ultimately Sunday would still be a better choice. Yeah, I know they would have to compete with Sundays, but they can do it on a month when it's not soap opera and when it's not football. That's true, Johnson. It's TGIF, yes. So it's better to put it on a Sunday. And I stand by that. Now, unfortunately, I got to sit there and cut this short. I actually do have to be, well, I was actually only going to be on for an hour, but since I got to be up so goddamn early, and I think this Benadryl is actually really starting to kick in. Wrestling is on Fridays, and it does already. Hmm, you got a fair point, Danny. Got a fair point. And Allison says in the fall. Hmm. I just know that Friday time slot has always been um, depth for a lot of shows. So yes, I'm going to sit there and end the stream here, but I will be back tomorrow. We'll sit there and talk more about this stuff beyond the gates. You know how we do. Johnson says, join us next time for another edition of Soap Chat with Abba Bostic. He says, good night, everyone. Hit that like button. Yes, hit that goddamn like button. Have a night, my gorgeous queen cat lady. Have a night, Queen Janet. Have a night, Queen Jess. Have a night, Spiderquake. Have a night, Blackmon. Have a night, Allison. Have a night, Danny Bear. Have a night, Blackmon. And anybody else who I missed, you know exactly who you are. And I will sit there and see ya. And there we go. Have a night, Jess. And I'll see ya in the next stream. Laters. Johnson says Saturday night is actually the lowest rated night for Prime TV. Well, yeah, most people are out on Saturdays. That's why I'm always very grateful when people come through to my member streams. Which come through this member stream on Saturday. It's going to be a good one. Also, if you're not a member, make sure you become a member. Between Saturday and Sunday, especially, whew, character we're going to be looking at on Sunday, well, it's quite a doozy. I'll sit there and say that much. Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow.